What a crazy week it's been in crypto and all the markets. FTX, I mean, who would have saw that coming? FTX, are you kidding me? Hold on a second. I mean, are you kidding me? FTX going under? And what really came to light, in case you didn't know, was that we think Three Arrows Capital, Alameda Research, which is also Sam Bankman-Fried's hedge fund, and FTX is his exchange. What we think really happened was that Alameda lost a crap load of money with Three Arrows Capital back in May, June. And from there, Sam didn't really like that. So what he did is he took customer funds from FTX and brought it to Alameda. And now it created about what we can find as a $6 billion hole. Absolutely nuts. Absolutely crazy. And what's really shitty about this, what's really, really crappy about it, is that what kind of a stain is this on the industry? What's this going to do going forward? What kind of nasty regulation is this going to bring? And listen, I'm all for regulation, right? We need regulation to actually have this thing go mainstream and have it to really grow to its full potential. But this now is firepower for some real unfavorable regulation to come in, some very unnecessary, harsh regulation. And it's just, F you, Sam. F you, man. And what other places are going to go under? Seems like BlockFi is probably going to go under. Crypto.com looks pretty sus to me. 20% of their holdings is SHIB. Do you know that? That just sounds weird to me. I mean, I get it. Newcomers, a lot of newcomers bought SHIB. Maybe that's why they hold a lot of SHIB. But I'm sitting here like 20% of all your crypto is in SHIB? Huh. But what about that FTX? Sam, and I saw something earlier today that Sam might kind of be on the run. He might have kind of fled to Russia. Now, I can't confirm that. I just saw some information. I tried to look it up. I couldn't confirm it, but I saw enough people post about it that it makes me wonder. It's just crazy. I mean, Sam's going to jail, and he has to go to jail. This is absolute fraud, and he lost people billions of dollars. Some people, I'm sure, lost a very significant portion of their net worth. Maybe all of their life savings, for all I know. I'm sure it happened with some people. And it's just, again, the big thing I look at this is, look at what it does for the industry now. How long is it going to take to overcome this? What kind of regulation and scrutiny is going to come in now that is just so unfavorable, and really not looking at the power of what this is, just because these people go and do these bad actor things? It's just a shame. Just a shame. What a beautiful day, by the way, out here in Seattle. Nice November day. So all that happened. Seems like Bitcoin hit a new low, right? Bitcoin went down to about 15,500. Wow, that's almost $2,000 below the June low, which was about 17,560, something like that. So what is that? That's over 10%. That's like 12%, something like that. Down below, wow. ETH crossed 1,100. And on a positive note, Ethereum became the term ultrasound money, meaning that it's actually deflationary. So today, there's less Ethereum than there was yesterday. Tomorrow, there will be less Ethereum than there is today. Ultrasound money, a truly deflationary asset. A lot of that got looked over this week, and that would have been humongous news, right? In the bull market, that would have been absolute talk of the town. Even in a bear market, that would have been talked about a lot more. But this week, this is one of the absolutely wildest, in a negative way, weeks in crypto, if not the most negative week in crypto that has ever happened. That's how big of a week this was. That's how big of a week this was. And then, so all that happened on Wednesday. These things found their bottom. And then the inflation report came out the next day, which was Thursday. And it came in better than expected. Wall Street analysts were expecting somewhere between 7.9 and 8. Came in 7.7. And the core came in at 0.4 instead of 0.6. So it's still a rise, but 0.4 and 0.6. So that sent markets immediately roaring. The stock market, the S&P went up over 5%. You know how many times in history that's happened? And it's only happened a few times in history, and it only happens in bear markets. Of course it does. So that's really interesting. So what does that mean going forward? What's the Fed going to do in December? they're still going to do an interest rate hike. I'm sure of that. But I think they very well may only do a 50 basis point, 0.5% rate hike. And I don't know if their terminal rate, the final interest rate that they aim to get to, is going to change. But, with that being said, 7.7, still really bad. Really, really bad. But markets like to anticipate, get ahead of everything, try to catch the bottom. It's just the way they work. It's the way they've always worked. It's the way they'll always work. And it's interesting. Is this over? Are we going to go into a recession? Right? Because another thing to note is Q3. It wasn't a negative GDP reporting. It was up like 2.5%. I don't know what the final reporting is going to be. They revise these things about once a month or so, but it's definitely positive. It's not going to come down to a negative. Not from like 2.6, I think. Absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy week, right? Crypto's been boring for several months, really. And then this week happens. Yeah, beautiful. Back there, where's the needle? There's a Space Needle right there, and there's downtown Seattle. Craziness. Absolute craziness. And then I've been hearing that Ukraine is the U.S. refused to send. We'll get to midterm elections in a second, which are still not over. Ukraine seems to be the U.S. said no to Ukraine to sending them more support in terms of this drone stuff. So the U.S. is kind of backing off their support there. I don't know how you feel about that. I understand. I do. I understand. So that's that, and that's noteworthy for sure. But the midterm elections this week. I mean, this was just an action-packed, wild, crazy, insane week. That's just a fact. It's absolutely nuts. And the midterm elections, there was supposed to be this red wave of, all these Republicans taking over all these seats, and that number seems to have now. Not all the counts are done, but that seems to have come in short. And from what I can tell, listen, I'm not associated with a political party. I'm neither. I'm really neither. Side note, I try to really just stay objective in general in life. So, from what I can tell, is that abortion was a really, really big issue. Me in particular, the people I voted for in this state. It was funny that I read that like the next day. I was like, I wasn't even necessarily going to vote. But I was like, but this one candidate, because I think a woman should choose, straight up. I think there should be some restrictions, obviously. But I don't think we should be able to tell women and humans what to do with their bodies. So one of the candidates was, very pro or against choice. And I was like, oh, well, that's the one thing that got me out to vote. And what I read the next day in many papers and many news outlets was that ended up being the biggest reason people voted who they voted for. And I'm like, huh. And it's funny because all the polls ahead of time, that wasn't the biggest thing that was being noted. But after the fact, that was the biggest reason. That ended up being the most notable reason why people voted for who they voted for, and that's why this big red wave didn't happen. Very interesting, right? That tells you what people think. Very interesting. But as for the markets, what's going to happen? Me personally, I bought some crypto this week. When it went down, I've been in this stuff a while, guys. I've been here almost 6 years. This is my second bear market. I know what this stuff looks like. But I believe in crypto long term. That's my thesis, So as long as you believe in crypto long term, blockchain technology long term, NFT technology long term, not profile pictures of monkeys, NFT technology, which is blockchain technology, which is having real digital assets. Because what's a crypto coin? It's on the blockchain, meaning it's a verifiable digital asset. You get what I'm saying? So NFT technology is just being able to do more than just a coin. It expands it into everything else. Deeds, art, in-game assets. I'm really big on in-game assets. Blockchain gaming is where I believe is the best place to be in crypto, because I think it's going to be the first thing to get mainstream adopted. It's such a clear, perfect fit and such a massive upgrade towards current gaming, which is gaming, recession proof, wouldn't you say? When are people going to stop gaming? What does the economy have to do with people gaming? They're going to keep gaming. Gaming literally goes up every year, and it's gone up every year my entire life. It's not going to stop. It's just going to keep going up, in my opinion. It's my thesis. But I bought some crypto this week. I bought some Bitcoin. I was like, I can buy Bitcoin in the 16,000s. Check this out. A year ago, if I told you, a year ago, by the way, that was when Bitcoin hit the all-time high, was 1 year ago in November last year. If I told you, if I looked you in the face, I swear to God, and I said, I think Bitcoin's going to get down into the 16,000s this time next year, you would have thought I was an absolute moron. Probably. Many people would have. Maybe not you. And you would have said something, real cocky. Probably. Many people would have. Like, ooh, you're silly. We're going to the moon. Babe, we'll probably never get below like 60K ever again. Blah, 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 blah. These are new people in crypto. Most people in crypto are new people. I've been here almost 6 years. I've seen some shit. And you would have probably, and most people probably would have said something real cocky, like, it goes to 16K. I'm going to sell my wife and go all in. Well, here we are. And those same people, which is most people, if they're even still around, they ain't buying. They say, I'm waiting for it to go lower. I'm waiting for it to go lower, man. It's going to go lower. I'm waiting for it to go lower. What the fuck is the difference? Right? What, it goes down to 10K? What's the difference of $6,000-$7,000 if you think it's going to 100 in the next bull cycle or above? The F is the difference. What if it doesn't? And then it's going to go to the 20s and the 30s and the 40s, and you're just going to miss out. Then you're going to buy the top. You're going to be the dumbass that does that. So that's what I got for you today. Beautiful November day. Thought I'd take a walk, do one of these videos. I haven't done one of these in quite a while. Gorgeous day. If you believe in crypto long term, now's the time, in my opinion. If you believe in it long term, now is a undeniably great time to buy. If you have a longer term mindset, looking at least 3 to 5 years, right? But if you're looking to, if you're the kind of person that when you buy it, you can't stomach it going down $1 for one fucking day, well, investing is just not for you. Because that's not the way the game works. The game is being able to look out further. That's how the real boys play it. The real boys and girls play it. Looking out further, being able to think out further than most people. And it's not too hard, right? If you actually believe in Bitcoin, if you believe in Ethereum, if you believe in crypto and blockchain technology, which if you don't, in my opinion, you completely don't understand blockchain technology. You completely don't understand Bitcoin. You completely don't understand Ethereum. And that's the problem. Understanding. Welcome to life. In seeking all things, seek understanding, right? And for the stock market, just to go to that, guess I'm still rambling on because I'm still walking. And for the stock market, let me switch hands here. What's that back there? Nice ship. For the stock market, what's going to happen? I still think we get down somewhere between 2,800 to 3,200 in the S&P before this whole thing's over. What's the time frame? I don't know. Maybe the next 6 months. What happens if the inflation number, what if the next inflation number is like 7.8? What happens then? You know, people keep talking about the Santa Claus rally. And that happens. You know why that happens commonly? Because most of the money is traded by investment institutions. And guess what? If they want their year-end bonuses, they got to make some profits at the end. So at the end of the year, they're all really rushing to make something happen. That's why there's so many Santa Claus rallies. That's why typically at the end of the year, you'll see this run up. And then maybe a drop at the end because people sell off to lock in their profits and so they can get their bonus checks. It's not a joke. That's literally how it happens. We're talking many, many, many billions of dollars, hundreds of billions of dollars, probably trillions, maybe quadrillions. No, not quadrillions. Literally trying to make something happen at the end of the year so they can get their bonus checks. Makes sense, doesn't it? Doesn't it make sense? Gosh, it's a beautiful day. It's been a very interesting week. I was actually at Disney World last week, all week. Did open to close every day. I love Disney World. I probably won't be back for a while because I kind of did it all. Some really good rides there. Some new ones that I haven't been on. That the Avatar Flight of Passage one, I'd never been on that one. Absolutely. I think that's I think somehow that technology's got to come into gaming, into more experiences, because it was just mind-blowing. And then Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind roller coaster. It literally felt, it was a roller coaster, an indoor roller coaster. It literally felt like you were flying through space. Absolutely, to a soundtrack. And it was, whew. Those were my two favorites. I'd never been on them before. I've been to Disney World, 1, 2, 3. This is my fourth time going to Disney World in like 8 years. And I live up here in Seattle. It's a hell of a trip. Why doesn't he just go to Disneyland? It's not the same thing. I mean, I should. That's probably where I'll go next when I get a Disney itch. I'm gonna go back over to walking on the waterfront. What the hell am I doing? What do you guys think? Drop in the comments. What do you think is going to happen with the markets? Oh, I didn't even talk about the real estate market. You know, real estate, I've been saying this all year, and the hate I got, the venom that I got because of my logical opinion on data that the housing market was going to come down. The venom I got against that. I've been saying this all year. And now, who's going to deny it? Even Dave Ramsey can't deny it anymore, because the numbers are just, the numbers don't lie. Some markets are holding, Midwest, Northeast seem to be holding better, but the South, the Southwest, and the West destroyed. The peak was seemingly in about May, because that's when interest rates were still really low and coming out. And ever since then, it's been one of the most rapid declines in housing market prices in history on a percentage basis. Some being at the more forefront of it, I'd say Seattle is getting smoked, Boise, the Bay Area, Phoenix, Nashville, Austin, Texas. I'd say Austin and Houston and Phoenix. Austin and Boise and Phoenix are probably the ones really getting smoked the most of anything in the country. Nashville's getting hit pretty hard. Some places, Raleigh, North Carolina, some places in Florida. And it's just getting started. When I said the peak was like May, like peak prices were, depending on how you look at it, somewhere between March and May. So we're just getting started. And some of these markets are down like 10% or more already. Crazy. So I think that this time next year is going to be a great buying opportunity in real estate, somewhere between Q2 and Q3. But housing market's a much slower moving animal. And I guess this is some kind of weekly update video, huh? Because I spend so much time studying crypto and real estate markets. And of course, I pay a lot of attention to the stock markets because you just have to, because it affects all the other markets. So if you're looking to buy a house, I wouldn't do it right now unless you got a hell of a deal. And I mean, if the house is listed for $500 and you think that, and it's already down, 10 to 20% from what it was earlier in the year, this year, and you came in and said, you know what, I'll pay you $400. If you could get them to take $400, then I think you got a deal. Then I think you're solid. That's the only way I would say I would do it. I'm more of the investor mindset. I think owning your own home is not the best way to use your credit. I think you should own cash flowing properties. I think it's a better use of your credit and your capital. Mathematically speaking, it's not even I think, it definitely is. It's fact. Numbers, they don't lie. But with that being said, if you're not interested in all that, you just want to buy your own home, fine. But that's the way I would do it. If I was at all, or I might just wait a while. Because another thing to talk about is home builders. Home builders, man. Home builders have a lot of reckoning coming, and it's already certainly started. I mean, there's home builders that are selling entire developments to investors for 20% off. Like calling them up saying, please buy this, because no one's buying them, right? And they're cutting like crazy, and you've seen this happen, right? They started with incentives first, right? Oh, we'll add this feature, we'll add that feature, you get these free upgrades, and then they started cutting prices, and they've been cutting prices. And obviously what's really interesting is new houses coming on the market, not new construction, just new listings, period, so all of it combined, is down from last year, but the number of listings on the market is higher. Meaning houses are staying on the market longer, even though there's less of them coming on the market, because demand is plummeted. Who's looking to buy a house at these prices at this interest rate? Because it's something called the Housing Affordability Index, which is basically the median price of houses with the factoring in the median house price, the interest rate, and the median income. So when you put those things together, you get the Housing Affordability Index. And it's literally been at all-time high, meaning houses are the least affordable, worst price, worst value, most overpriced they've ever been in history. Interesting. Which doesn't make sense. The last 2 years, houses, some markets went up like literally 40% over 2 years. That's insane. Houses typically go up about 3 to 5% a year. So that's the trend. For literally ever, it goes up some, up above trend, below trend, but that's the trend line. So when it goes up way above the trend line like that, which is the fastest ever done in history in the last 2 years, it's got to come back to trend. In reality, it's probably got to shoot through down below the trend and then come back up to trend. And we are still way above trend. So it's got to come down a lot more. Watch the next year. I think I'm going to end the video. We're at 22-ish minutes. That's what I got for you today. Watch out there. I don't think there's any hurry to do anything. Have a longer term mindset, in my opinion. Look out further. It'll serve you. Don't get too caught up in the day-to-day. Unless you enjoy it like I do. I like paying attention to stuff all the time. But I'm in no rush to buy anything. I bought some crypto because I wait for these days to happen, and then I deploy capital. Because I'm like, oh shit, it's extremely undervalued today, and then it gets bought up. And that's exactly what happened. Bitcoin was in the 15,000s, and it bounced up to 18. And now at the time of me recording this, it's a little below 17. Ethereum went down below 1,100, which is not its all-time low for the year, or its bottom for the year, because 880 was its bottom. And since it became ultrasound money, I think it's got a lot more support than say Bitcoin does. Supply and demand, right? When there's literally less Ethereum tomorrow than there is today, and that continues, supply holds price up. Decreased supply holds price up. As long as demand stays at least stable, and demand for ETH is certainly stable, in my opinion, and with a very bright future of increased demand, even though supply will continue to decrease. So take care.